Madam Lin the butcher, a slice of meat for me, lots of fat, please. In reply, Mother slammed her pig-killing knife down on the wooden block, the thud-thud sending bone crumbs flying and drawing a pack of puppies to scrabble and fight for them. Granny, today's meat is mouth-watering. Take it home and stew it with some veggies. It'll make you forget your own name with how good it is. The old granny buying meat patted my cheek, pulling 2 candied lotus seeds from her pouch. It smells divine even before I taste it. Else how could our little Foo grow up so healthy and chubby? Mother was the only woman butcher in town. Her slight frame could hoist an entire pig, leaving many a man gaping for words. When she first took up this trade, those men ganged up to push her out. Her answer was to flash her pig-killing knife, polished till it shone like a mirror. After they saw her crush a fruit to pulp with one hand, their mouths stayed shut for good. A slice of pork. 15 coins. Good heavens, that's far too pricey, the granny clucked, pulling out 14 coins with a pained look. Then she met my bright, unblinking eyes and fished out one more. Only 'cause your meat's never short on weight and always the best quality. I'd never pay this much for anyone else's. The old grannies and housewives in town all loved to nick a little extra when buying veggies or meat, but Mother would never say a word more. Not a single copper coin would she yield either. So it was common to see cuts of meat, neatly sliced on the block, left unclaimed by customers who haggled and fussed. Yet our meat was the freshest in town, never short weight, so the shop was always busy even if a single sale could take an age to close. I broke into my signature grin. Unlike my slender mother, I'd been born fair and plump, and all the grannies said it was a lucky face, a sign of great blessings. Granny's got such good taste, our meat's the very best, eat it. And you'll live to 110, and your grandsons and granddaughters will be as blessed as little Foo. The granny cackled, saying I had a sweet tongue for such a young thing. Mother's brows softened too, adding a meaty bone to the granny's bundle. My gaze drifted to the little beggar across from the meat shop. He wasn't looking at the meat, though only at the puppies scrapping for bones under our stall, as if he longed to join their fray. He'd been in town for as long as I could remember. Sometimes he lingered across from our shop, sometimes he vanished for days on end, a nameless, homeless boy with no one to call his own. Mother, can I give him something to eat? At first, I'd felt sorry for him, wanting to share our meat, our food, but Mother would never let me. There was a bowl-sized scar on her face. Yet I'd never found it frightening. Foo, we have plenty of meat here, but if you give him some, I can't promise I'll still be able to protect you. Why, does he eat that much? My thin mother gathered me into her arms, her fingers stroking her 2 pig-killing knives over and over. I don't know, little one, but when more people come begging for food, there's never enough to go around. The little beggar lifted his head, and our eyes met. A shiver ran down my spine. His gaze was just like the puppies scrabbling for meat crumbs at my feet. I felt sorry for him again. He was older than me, yet he looked just like those stray dogs. I slipped the candied lotus seeds, mixed with a flatbread, on the ground beside him. He said nothing, just picked them up and left. Sigh, let it be. Mother wiped her knife clean and we went back to selling meat. That day, the meat sold like hotcakes. By closing time, not a single slice was left. Silver, so much silver. Mother, we can buy loads of candied lotus seeds. I skillfully dug out a small clay jar from a hole in the wall, our life savings hidden safe inside. At first, it had been only copper coins, then broken silver pieces. Now the jar was nearly half full of solid silver ingots. Eating too many sweets rots your teeth, Mother said, hefting the jar with a smile. Even with the scar on her face, I thought she was the prettiest woman in the world. In a few days, we'll go get you a little longevity lock made of gold, a hollow one, to bless my little Foo with a long and happy life. A longevity lock was Mother's obsession. It was as if, with that one little lock, I would never have to worry about anything for the rest of my life. The next morning, Mother's bed was already cold. I had no idea how long she'd been gone. I climbed out of bed and heated up the kanji in the pot. Mother always left a small bowl of shredded chicken in it after she'd eaten, so the rich rice fragrance was tinged with a faint, savory meaty scent. I sat on the doorstep with my bowl, and saw the little beggar lying by the road. I couldn't tell if he was unconscious or just asleep. His face was always hidden by his hair. As I drew near, a sour, stinking smell hit my nose, and just then, he woke up. "Want some kanji? It's still hot." The little beggar sat there dumbly, as if in a daze. After a long moment, he nodded. I ran back inside and brought him a bowl. He ate ravenously, clutching the bowl like he never wanted to let it go. "Leave quickly. Trouble's coming." "You can talk," I gasped, stopping mid-step as I turned to go back inside. Everyone in town had thought he was a mute, yet his voice was surprisingly nice. No matter how I asked, the little beggar said nothing more. I wanted to ask why he was leaving, where he was going. Was he really leaving town for good? That day, Mother came home unusually early, her face clouded with worry. With more than half a pig still unsold, she held me in her arms for a long time, then began to cure the meat. She cut the half-pig into chunks, some sealed in clay jars. Others hung up to smoke dry. The weather wasn't hot yet, she could have easily sold it the next day. Yet she had no such plan. I thought of the little beggar's words, and for some reason, I didn't dare ask Mother why. "Phoo, Mother won't sell meat anymore. I'll stay home with you forever." As if sensing my unease, she stroked my head, forcing a stiff smile. "From now on, we'll stay inside the house. Don't go anywhere. Don't answer the door for anyone, do you understand?" I nodded. Snuggling into Mother's arms and falling asleep, I woke up in the middle of the night, and heard strange sounds from the yard. Beneath the moonlight, Mother was standing in the yard, honing her knives one by one on the whetstone, the scrape of metal on stone sharp and clear. 4 days on end, Mother didn't open the meat shop, yet she slipped out at odd hours to buy grain and vegetables, piling them up at home till there was more than we could ever eat. People came knocking at our door, asking why Mother wasn't selling meat anymore, grumbling that the other butchers were shortchanging them and selling stale, bad meat. Mother had no smile for them, only a cold, hard reply: "My child is sick. I need to stay home and take care of her." At that, Granny Jong stopped pressing her, telling Mother that children often fell ill like this, and she just needed to keep a close eye on me. Before she left, she pressed some sweets into Mother's hand. "Kids never like taking medicine. That's why she's not getting better fast. The medicine's too bitter." Coax her. "Give her something sweet to take the taste away." Little Foo's the most obedient girl in town. Granny Jong was the only one in town who never haggled with Mother. She had a little grandson, even younger than me, so she always had sweets in her pocket. Her family wasn't well off, though those sweets were cheap ones, not many, and she kept them for ages before giving them away. Mother often said we were all poor souls, struggling to get by. If the times get any harder, us poor folks will be worth nothing at all. Our bodies will pile up by the roadside, and even the rich lords will turn their noses up at using them for firewood. Granny Jong. Buy more food while you can. Your legs aren't good, and you always go out alone. It'll be terrible if something happens to you. Mother couldn't bear it, and added the extra warning. Granny Jong hefted the vegetable leaves in her basket, every single one picked carefully and gently. "No need. Buying fresh every day is better, and I can get the cheap stuff too." She walked away slowly, her figure nearly fading into the distance when her voice drifted back, soft as a whisper, barely audible. "What's the use of buying more? It all costs silver." I sat on the bed, waiting for Mother to feed me the sweets. "Mother, you eat too. Let's share them together." Mother stuffed all the sweets into my mouth at once, then poked my chubby cheek. She loved holding me in her arms, just like she held the little piglets at the butcher shop. "Mother's little Foo has to be safe. You have to be safe, no matter what." With Mother no longer selling meat, the other butchers in town grew even more brazen. Once, if they shortchanged a customer, the person would slam the meat down on their stall and shout curses, calling them thieving scoundrels. Now, the customers just muttered their complaints under their breath, too afraid to speak up. "This is my price. Can't afford it. Put it back, if you've got no money. Don't even think about eating meat." Madam Lin the butcher, H. If you like buying from her so much, go ahead. How long can a woman keep a butcher shop running anyway? A few proud souls turned and left, saying Madam Lin would be back soon enough. They could go without meat for a while, it was no big deal. That remark gave the other butchers an idea. The next day, they raised their prices by a few more coins. With Mother gone, they wanted to line their pockets while they could. Our door was always being knocked on those days. Mother would tell me to lie in bed, close my eyes tight, and pay no attention to anything. "Madam Lin, you and your daughter have to eat and drink, don't you? If you don't sell meat, you'll run out of money soon enough." She's right. If you don't earn a living, you won't even have money to buy medicine for little Foo. How about this? We'll look after little Foo for you. You buy the meat, and we'll set up a little shed for her by our stall. We'll make sure she's nice and quiet, no trouble at all. They chatted on, their words pouring through the door and into my ears like a swarm of buzzing flies and bees. I didn't know how Mother could stand it. Mother stood in the middle of the crowd, just like she always did, saying nothing at all, or repeating the same sentence over and over. "My Foo is sick. I need to take care of my Foo. I won't sell meat anymore." One day, a handful of new beggars appeared in town. They ran around in a panic, making ridiculous faces, willing to do anything for a mouthful of food. The townsfolk laughed at them. Some tossed a flatbread and told them to bark like dogs and crawl for it. A few kind souls gave them a little food for nothing. More and more beggars came. Yet the little beggar who'd been here all along was nowhere to be seen. "Leave quickly, trouble's coming." I stared at the chaos outside, and the little beggar's words popped into my head, sending a wave of fear curling in my chest. "Foo, who told you that?" Mother dropped to her knees in front of me. Her eyes filled with panic. I'd never known hardship in my life, but Mother had known nothing but hardship, for she'd fled to this town years ago. When a terrible famine had struck her hometown, she would never tell me of the hardships she endured on the road. But the townsfolk all said it was a miracle a woman, especially a pregnant one, had survived it. They all told me I must grow up well, marry a good man, and let Mother live a happy life. I never understood what marrying a good man had to do with Mother's happiness. Mother didn't understand either. She would cover my ears and tell me I didn't need to figure it out. I never kept secrets from Mother, so I told her everything that had happened that day, honestly and plainly. Mother's shoulders sagged at once when she heard, and she muttered that it was all over. But in the end, she climbed to her feet, slinging her knives at her waist. "It's all right, it's all right. Don't worry, Foo. Mother will protect you." Mother said that for the rich and powerful, news was their lifeline. Their wealth and status would save them if they heard trouble coming. But those who heard nothing were like ownerless piglets, waiting only to be slaughtered and devoured. And for people like us, the ones the nobles never spared a glance for, there was still a way to live, because we spent every day clinging to life, our nerves frayed and our strength stretched thin. We could sense danger in the tiniest, most unnoticeable signs, the faintest rustle of wind, the slightest stir of grass. Beneath the house we lived in was a cellar, dug by Mother long ago, all by herself. Digging it had been agony. Mother refused to hire help, and refused to let anyone know about it. After settling in this town, she sold meat by day to earn money, and dug the cellar bit by night. Alone, now the cellar was finally going to use, by night. Mother and I carried our things down there, one by one, and by day, Mother went back to selling meat, as if nothing was wrong. The townsfolk were overjoyed. They bought even more meat than usual. No more beggars appeared in town, and everything seemed to go back to the way it was, only the sound of Mother honing her knives at night, and her busy, tireless figure, told me that nothing was the same anymore. Fu, are you feeling better? Sister Kui came to see me when I sat at the door, carrying a big stack of flatbreads, sweet flatbreads. Mother told me to bring these for you. Hurry and taste them. Sister Kui's family owned a cloth shop. They were rich, with many children, and Sister Kui was as beautiful as a fairy. I loved being with her. Thank you, Sister Kui. Auntie's sweet flatbreads are the best. Sister Kui pinched my cheek, then sat down next to me. I've been so worried about you since you got sick. My family hired opera singers a while ago, and you missed it. It's such a shame. At those words, I couldn't even eat the sweet flatbread anymore. Very few families in town could afford to hire opera singers, and Sister Kui's was one of them. And I'd missed it, just like I missed every other nice thing. Seeing my dejected face, Sister Kui giggled, saying that next time, even if I was sick, she'd have someone carry me there to watch the opera, no matter what. We were laughing and talking when Mother came home. Sister Kui's laughter died at once. Kui, bringing us things again. You really shouldn't. Mother didn't stop walking for a second, turning to fetch a string of meat from the shop. Kui, take this home. Fresh today, perfect for hot pot. After seeing Sister Kui off, Mother stood in front of me, saying nothing, just staring at me. Mother had never liked Sister Kui's family, not from the very beginning. Fu, what did Mother tell you? I turned my head away, clutching the sweet flatbread tight in my hand. The sugar inside was still hot, oozing out and dripping onto my fingers. Drip, drip. Mother's heart softened in the end. She took out a handkerchief and wiped my tears, then cleaned my hands till they were spotless. Fu, don't be willful. Mother is only doing this for your own good, but everyone likes Sister Kui. Sister Kui was not only beautiful and gentle, but she gave gifts to all the children in town, sweet flatbreads, hairpins, little trinkets. Even the naughtiest children were good for her. I really couldn't understand why Mother didn't like her. Mother didn't just dislike Sister Kui, she disliked Auntie Kui too. Every time Auntie Kui offered to help or brought us something, Mother would refuse, flat out. If Mother doesn't like them, Fu can't like them either. Mother stroked my head, pulling a small gold lock from her bosom and hanging it around my neck. Your Sister Kui brought you sweet flatbreads once, and now the whole town knows it. She always says she'll call all you children over for the opera at her house, but has any of you ever been? Fu, you're still young, but it's time you understood these things. Mother rambled on, telling me how, when we first came to town, Auntie Kui had looked down on her for being a widow. It wasn't until she saw the scar on Mother's face, and felt Mother's sharp temper, that Auntie Kui had suddenly turned into a kind person. Their gifts were never free. Before the gift even left their hands, the townsfolk would already be whispering about who was trying to mooch off the rich cloth merchant's family. Mother said their family was nothing like ours. If a silver ingot lay on the ground in front of them, they would never pick it up, they'd give it to someone else instead. Then smile and wait for everyone in town to hear about their kindness. They don't lack silver, Mother said. They lack a good reputation. We're not the same kind of people as them. I listened, confused. I roughly understood that Auntie Kui's family wasn't good, yet I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd gotten something good from them. All the same, even Sister Kui. Mother tucked the gold lock into my undergarment, so it lay warm against my chest, and nodded. Your Sister Kui isn't a child anymore. She's just like her mother, down to the bone. Can we still eat the flatbread? I stared at the stack of sweet flatbreads, my heart aching at the thought of throwing them away. Mother pressed her fingers firmly between my eyebrows, picking up 2 flatbreads, one for her, one for me. Eat, we earned these. We're not taking charity. Granny Zhong always said that the longer a person lived, the sharper their eyes became, sharp enough to tell a wolf from a lamb, and to see the true heart of a person. Maybe, when I grew a little older, my eyes would be sharp too. Maybe I'd understand. Then, the wind always came suddenly, and in that moment, I finally understood what Mother had meant for people like us. Just living was already a struggle. That day, before noon, the outside world suddenly erupted in chaos. It sounded like everyone in town was running, screaming, shouting, more terrifying than the firecrackers on the first day of the Lunar New Year. Foo, if something happens, hide in the cellar and wait for Mother. Don't run anywhere, no matter what. Mother told me this every night before bed, and I remembered it, clear as day. I lifted the cellar's hidden cover and scrambled inside. A soft thud sounded as the firewood and hay bales fell back into place, hiding the entrance. Every night, when I cuddled up to Mother to sleep, I could hear her heartbeat. But now, the only heartbeat I could hear was my own. I missed Mother. The cellar smelled terrible, cluttered with too many things, the stench thick enough to drown in. It was pitch black too, and I couldn't help but think of the evil ghosts in the deep mountains that Granny Jong talked about, and the child-eating monsters that Sister Kui spoke of in hushed tones at night. I huddled in the corner, not daring to move, not daring to cry out loud. I wish I'd stopped Mother from going out today. I wish I'd gone out with her. Foo, Foo, wake up. Mother's back. Mother held a candlestick, her hand brushing my cheek. Foo did well. Such a good girl. I threw myself into her arms, but my hands touched something sticky and wet. Mother, it's raining outside. Mother blew out the candlestick. The rustle of cloth as she took off her coat to wipe my hands. Mother's going to change her clothes. Wait for me. Foo, we'll go out together in a moment. The world had truly fallen into chaos. The fighting had been going on outside for a long time, and today, bandits from the nearby mountains had taken advantage of the unrest to raid the town. Nothing like this had ever happened to our town before. The bandits had been driven off, but they'd scared our county magistrate half to death. I'd seen the magistrate before, an old man with a beard, who often carried his grandson around the street to play. In his official robes, he looked somewhat imposing and alert. They said he'd passed the imperial examinations late in life, right here in this town. He'd gone to the capital, the foot of the Son of Heaven, for a little while, then come back here to be a small official. He'd done no great deeds, but no great wrongs either, and slowly climbed to his current position. Foo, let's go out. The soldiers will be here soon. Mother's hands were ice cold, so cold she was shivering, but she didn't stop walking for a second, pulling me out the door with her. Those bandits were truly evil. Our house had been ransacked, turned upside down. The shops along the stone street were even worse. Their stalls had all been overturned, but no one dared to clean them up. From today on, no one is allowed to enter or leave the town. Anyone caught breaking this rule will be treated as a traitor. The crowd erupted at once, like water splashed into a pan of hot oil, but with soldiers holding long spears standing on the street above them. The oil pan turned into a pot of boiling water, simmering with fear and helplessness. I stood in the middle of the crowd, voices crashing over me from all sides. It's that serious. No one's allowed out of the town. How can that be? What will my whole family eat? Oh heaven! Stop complaining, your life is more important. Those bandits came with real weapons today. So many people were cut and wounded, blood splattered everywhere. Closing the city gate is a good thing, at least the bandits can't get in again. What? Someone died? They did. Our magistrate turned white as a sheet, shaking like a leaf despite his age. Mark my words, if the war comes here, he'll be the first to run. No way. His family has lived here for 18 generations. Where can he run to? A thick fog of tension and fear spread over the town. The soldiers herded the crowd along, and everyone walked home with their heads down and their brows furrowed. A cold wind blew, and Mother's hands were as icy as winter snow. I rubbed them hard, but I could never warm them up. Madam Lin the butcher, you two be careful at home. Lock all the doors at night. Keep your knives by the bed. Granny Jong shook her head, muttering to herself, pulling 2 sweets from her pocket, then putting one back. Foo, listen to your mother. Be a good girl. Do you understand? I shook my head. Not taking the sweet. Granny, take it back for little brother. He likes sweets. Foo's a big girl now. Foo doesn't need them. Granny Jong didn't push it, hobbling back home with her back bent low. Mother, will the magistrate run? All the children in town were afraid of the magistrate, and the adults were too. Whenever they saw someone in official robes, they would bow their heads and bend their waists low. But the adults also said that as long as the magistrate and the other officials stayed, the town would stay. If the town stayed, our home would stay. Someone in the crowd had said the magistrate would run, and I was scared. I wanted to know if the magistrate ran, would all of us have to run too? Staring at my chubby body and short little legs, I began to worry. I couldn't run fast. What if I fell behind? I should have eaten less all those days. Mother doesn't know either. But if we have to run, Mother will take you with her. No matter what, I clung to Mother, making up my mind to eat less from now on. Less meat meant I wouldn't be a burden to her. My plan to lose weight was foiled by Mother before it even started. She even chopped the meat into tiny pieces, stir-fried it, and tucked it into flatbreads, setting them right in front of me. I swallowed hard, my nose twitching at the delicious smell. Eat. If you don't eat, you'll have no strength, and then you really won't be able to run fast. Could Mother ever be wrong? Of course not. It was so delicious. The flatbread was pan-fried till crispy, soaked through with meat juice, the minced meat mixed with pickled vegetables, bite after bite, not a hint of greasiness. I was plump, and Mother was thin, but we both ate a lot. Yet today, Mother only ate one flatbread and stopped. Mother, are you sick? Why aren't you eating? Mother nodded. Mother has no appetite. Foo, eat the rest for me. When Mother feels better, we'll eat flatbread together again. Ever since she came back that day, Mother had been sick, and she never got better. Her body was always cold. No matter how hard I tried to warm her up, no one walked the streets anymore now. Everyone locked their doors tight and hid in their homes. Mother and I did the same. Mother poked a small hole in the window, and I peeked out through it at the world outside. On the third day, there was still no one on the streets, only rows of soldiers patrolling back and forth, fierce and menacing, holding swords and long spears. On the fifth day, the beggars from other places appeared. They scavenged the streets for food, occasionally finding rotten fruit and wilted vegetable leaves. The tiniest sound echoed loudly on the empty main street. A crowd of beggars would swarm over, their eyes red with hunger, like rabid dogs fighting for scraps. On the sixth day, the townsfolk came out too. They huddled with their backs hunched, trying to buy rice and flour, but all the shops were closed. They left with nothing that night. There was movement on the main street. Mother and I peered through the small hole. We saw not a glimmer of light. In the darkness, there were cheers, gasps of shock, and then, after a flurry of noise, silence again. When dawn broke on the seventh day, I saw that many shops had been pried open, all the ones that sold rice, flour, and food. Without exception, no one lived in those shops. God damn it, which worthless scoundrel dared to break into my shop? If I catch you, I'll beat you to death and hand you over to the officials. Someone ran onto the main street, wailing and screaming, only to be shouted back home by the soldiers who came rushing over. I knew these people. They had enough money to open small shops, run entirely by their own families. The shops were too small for anyone to live in, and everyone in town knew it too. Many families have no food left. Mother sighed, stroking my cheek. You've put on a little weight, it seems. We'll eat less starting today. Mother was never wrong. I'd eat exactly what she gave me, no more, no less. That night, as we lay down to sleep, Mother pulled out a kitchen knife and told me to sleep on the inside of the bed. Mother, will they come to our house? Fear coiled in my chest. I wanted to hide in the cellar with Mother. It was dark there, but with Mother by my side, I'd not be afraid. Mother refused. She said they wouldn't come for us now. Mother was right. On the seventh night, the noise outside grew even louder, but no one came to our door. It's not time yet. Some people still think silver is more important than food. But on the 8th night, someone came knocking. The knocks were soft, as if the person was afraid of being discovered. Mother and I planned to ignore it, but the knocks wouldn't stop. Mother had to go to the door, the kitchen knife in her hand. "Madam Lin the butcher, it's Granny Jong." Granny Jong's voice was shaking, rising and falling in the darkness. "I brought some flatbreads for you and little Fu, they'll fill your stomach. When we're gone, you sneak out and take them. Don't let anyone see." I broke into a smile. I'd been cooped up in this house for so long. I hadn't touched another person from outside in ages. "Granny, do you have enough food at home? Don't go hungry yourself. Granny has food. Little Fu, you be good and stay with your mother." "Okay." Granny Jong's voice held a faint smile. She was urged twice by someone nearby, and spoke in a hurry. "Little Fu, I put a sweet under the flatbreads. Dissolve it in water and drink it slowly. Don't eat it all in one day." The door creaked open a crack. Mother pushed out a short piece of boiled pork. "Granny Jong, thank you. We have no food left at home, only this leftover pork from before. It's not much, and it's still fresh. Take it if you don't mind." "Oh, this is too much. Thank you so much. You two be careful. I'll go back now." After Granny Jong left, Mother brought the basket in. The flatbreads were mixed with a lot of coarse grain, looking rough and unrefined. But Mother said it was a miracle Granny Jong could still spare us even this much. When dawn came, all the empty shops on the main street had been pried open, not just the food shops anymore. The town had become a strange place. It was lifeless in the daytime, and filled with beasts in the night. Mother said nothing. She just honed her knives every day, till they were sharp enough to cut through air. "Fu, take this small knife. I was going to give it to you for your birthday." It was a tiny pig-splitting knife, exactly like Mother's, only smaller. Carved into the blade was a little character for blessing. In my eyes, Mother was as fierce and brave as a female general when she split pork. I'd always wanted to be just like her, begging her countless times to teach me how. Mother always said the time wasn't right, and refused to let me touch a knife. "Mother, can I split pork now too?" Mother nodded, pressing the knife into my hand. "Don't let anyone see it, Fu. Remember this, only if we live can we stay together forever. Mother hopes the only time you ever use this knife is to split pork." Food grew scarcer and scarcer in the town, and more people came out of their homes, desperate for something to eat, something to fill their empty bellies. A group of people walked to the city gate. They hadn't even had time to open their mouths before they were shot dead by flying arrows. The bandits seemed to have timed their raids perfectly, coming more and more frequently. The people were scared out of their wits. No one dared to collect the bodies left lying on the ground. Everyone started borrowing grain, 10 meters of cloth, heavy jewelry, things that had made people envious in the old days. No one cared about them now. Some people came to our house to borrow grain too, but we gave them nothing. A few tried to break in. Mother held out a cold, glinting knife, and they left, cursing and muttering under their breath. We had almost no grain left in the house. Mother prepared to go down to the cellar to fetch some more. It was then that Sister Kui came. Fu, are you in there? Do you have any food at home? Can you give me some?" Sister Kui was crying pitifully. I peeked through the small hole and saw her hair was a mess. Nothing like her usual beautiful self. "Fu, I knew you were in there. Do you still have food at home? Give me some, please." Sister Kui was always the nicest to you, wasn't she? "I don't want much, just one flatbread, just one." Sister Kui spotted the small hole, and she spotted me too. She held up one finger, leaned close to the hole, and stared into the house with bloodshot eyes, her gaze greedy. "Fu, what did you eat today?" "Sister Kui can smell it. Give some to Sister Kui." "Okay." She snuffled hard, her heavy gasps sounding like some kind of wild animal. This Sister Kui scared me. The words I wanted to say got stuck in my throat, and I couldn't make a sound. "Why won't you give me any? I was so good to you. Why? Give it to me now." She banged on the door, loud and hard. I knew she couldn't get in, but I still stepped back 2 steps in fear. We have no food at home. Go to someone else's house. Mother appeared behind me out of nowhere, steadying my trembling body. Sister Kui paused, then burst into louder tears. Auntie Lin, we have no other choice. Someone broke into our house last night. In the dark, they took all our valuables, all our food. My father and brother were beaten badly. They're still lying in bed, unable to move. Auntie Lin, I really have no other choice. For the sake of all the good times we had, please give me some food. I know Auntie Lin is a good person. Please. Sister Kui cried her heart out, but Mother didn't waver for a second. She even tightened her grip on the knife in her hand. We have no food left. There's nothing I can give you. The crying stopped abruptly. In its place was Auntie Kui's voice. Sharp and angry. Lin, you have a black heart. You deserve to live a miserable life forever, after all the good we did for you, and now you won't lift a finger to help us. You're a worthless widow with a scarred face. Your daughter is a fool. Mother covered my ears with her hands. All I could hear was the people at the door, shouting curses non-stop, and then 2 hard kicks to the door, like they still weren't satisfied, as soon as they left. Mother picked me up and carried me to the window to peek through the small hole. Behind Sister Kui and Auntie Kui stood several men, including Sister Kui's father and brother, who she'd said were lying in bed injured. Sister Kui seemed to feel our eyes on her. She turned her head, and her gaze on me was filled with hatred. She mouthed words that said she'd kill us. See that? Fu, never act on impulse. In times of chaos like this, how dare a mother and daughter go out alone? If we'd opened the door today, Mother and Fu would have been in terrible danger. I turned and buried my face in Mother's arms. Mother was right. Sister Kui was a bad person. The Sister Kui who was so kind, so gentle, who played with me and gave me snacks, she was a bad person. Mother, are people born bad? Or do they turn bad? The word fool spun around in my head. Some blurry things seemed to become clear all of a sudden. This must be what Granny Zhong meant when she said the older you grow, the sharper your eyes become, sharp enough to see the truth in people's hearts. She could call me names, but she couldn't insult Mother. I hated Sister Kui. I hated Auntie Kui. I hated their whole family. Fu, the human heart is complicated. All we can do is protect ourselves. Before long, more and more people came to our door, one after another. Some knelt and kowtowed, begging, others threatened and shouted curses. I didn't believe Kui when she told me. But it seems this mother and daughter really have food hidden away. Sure they do. Why don't we just, sure, come back at night, we're in numbers. Sister Kui and her lot left empty-handed, so they went around telling everyone we still had food hidden away. In the face of life and death, everyone's true face is hideous. Mother had planned to send me to sleep in the cellar that night. It was sure to be unquiet, but we hadn't expected the chaos to break out suddenly at dinner time. Run. The bandits are in. Run for your lives. Where's the magistrate? Where are the soldiers? The magistrates run away. Help, my son. Save my son. I'll fight you to the death. Mother's hand trembled. She told me to rush to the cellar, then darted to fling the door open. The moment the cellar cover clanged shut, all light vanished. I huddled in Mother's arms, my fingers clamped tight around the small pig-splitting knife. Mother's hand pressed over my mouth, silencing every sound. Damn it, no one here either must have run off. Ha ha ha, they'll be dead even if they got out. There's some food here, take it all, you lot. Search every nook and cranny for stragglers. Their commotion was deafening. I heard our small clay jars and porcelain bowls smash to the ground, chests and cupboards wrenched open violently. Our home had become a place for them to ransack for treasure, no holds barred, and we were the treasure they sought. Are the townsfolk stupid or what? The magistrate's gone, and they're still hanging around. The magistrate ran, the cowardly bastard, but the vice magistrate stayed. His whole family's here. He was guarding the gate when we broke in, got run straight through with a spear. TCH. Where do you think the magistrate's gonna go? The world's in chaos out there, he's as good as dead anyway. Say, there's plenty of young girls in this town. It's been ages since I've touched a woman. Hey, tell me about it, aren't they daft, coming out at night? That little girl they caught just now, she's a real beauty. Heard she's with her whole family. Come on, let's go, otherwise they'll play her to death. The two men seemed to leave, and silence fell for a long while. I was about to speak when Mother clapped her hand over my mouth again. This was the second time I'd hidden in the cellar, but this time I was with Mother by my side. I had no fear. Looks like there's really no one here. Dunno why the boss is so skittish. Come on, let's go. From that day on, Mother and I lived in the cellar. Everything was pitch black before my eyes. I had no way of telling if it was day or night outside. When we needed to talk, we had to press our mouths to each other's ears and whisper. We dared not light a fire to cook, nor a candle, afraid of being discovered at any moment. At first, we could eat fruit, cake, and the hard-boiled eggs Mother had made. Later, we had to eat wilted raw vegetables, bitter enough to make my face scrunch up into a ball when I bit into them. But we had no choice if we didn't eat. We'd starve. Mother's cured meat jerky was unbearably salty if eaten plain. A tiny shred required a big bite of flatbread to chase it down. The flatbread, made with little water to keep it from spoiling, was dry and tough, enough to crack a tooth. Thankfully, Mother had also stir-fried a lot of dry flour, fragrant, powdery, with the occasional sesame seed, a mouthful with a sip of water, and it filled my stomach nicely. We sipped the water in our skin sparingly, until in the end we could only dampen our lips with it. I must have lost a lot of weight. When I touched my cheeks, they were all bone and no flesh. Mother had wasted away even more. When I hugged her, she felt like a bundle of dry firewood in my arms. The bandits never left. They broke into our home every now and then to take whatever they fancied, laughing and shouting about how many people they'd captured, how many they'd killed. The cellar stank more and more by the day. We ate, drank, and relieved ourselves there. Even hay, wood ash, and dirt couldn't mask the smell, but I grew used to it. I stared with my eyes wide open, yet saw nothing. Perhaps this was what it felt like to be blind. Sometimes I thought of Granny Jong. Was her family still alive? Her legs were bad. I wondered if she'd managed to hide. Had her precious little grandson grown thin with hunger too? I thought of Sister Kui too. Had the bandits captured her family, as they talked about? But their family had been so tough, so cruel, surely it couldn't have been them. Even though Sister Kui was bad, I prayed with all my heart that it wasn't her who'd been caught. What about the other butchers in town, the ones who'd brandished their knives at customers? Could they lift those knives against the bandits? No, they'd only ever dared to scare the people who bought their meat. Thankfully, the little beggar had run off long ago. Otherwise, he'd have had nowhere to hide, no food to hoard. He'd have been killed by the bandits on the first day, but no one could answer these questions for me. All I could do was huddle in Mother's arms, running my fingers over the small gold lock over and over. Mother had said the longevity lock would keep me safe. I hoped it would keep us both safe. Days passed with no sound from above. Mother pried the cellar cover open a crack, and blinding sunlight flooded the darkness in an instant. It was eerily quiet, no birdsong, nothing. Mother turned to look at me, and I clapped my hand over my mouth at once. Only then did she slowly crawl out. The moment the cellar cover closed again, I was alone once more. I don't know how long it was before Mother opened the cover again. Our house was in ruins, just like the dilapidated temple on the east side of town. When I stepped outside, I saw the whole main street was the same. Broken door frames, not a soul in sight. The streets were littered with blackened bloodstains, mangled corpses, broken arrows, and charred wood. Nothing but emptiness, just a bunch of bandits. Mother went back to the cellar and fetched a few potatoes, then dug a hole and buried them in the fire to roast. Leaping flames licked at the dry firewood, sending up warm, glowing embers, a heat we'd never felt in that small, dark cellar. I'd longed to step out of the cellar, but now that I was out, I had no words to say. Mother and I had walked into a bigger, brighter cellar, one filled with danger. Mother, are we staying here? I'd lived in this town since the day I was born, with Mother, Granny Jong, Sister Kui, the little beggar, and everyone else in town. I'd never thought of leaving. The thought filled me with a fear unlike any I'd known before, sour, confused, uneasy. I could only cling tightly to Mother's hand. No, Fu. The bandits said the world's in chaos outside, and even they fled. That means this place is no longer safe. Mother picked up a pair of scissors and cut my hair short. Then went to rummage through the abandoned houses for clothes to dress me in. Wherever we go, as long as we're together, we'll always have a home. The bandits had originally lived on the Western Mountains, so Mother decided to take me east. I slung a bundle over my back, Mother too, and just like that, we left the town we'd always called home. Once, my world had been no bigger than this town. I'd never stepped foot outside it. Now that I had, it felt like we could never stop moving. We traveled all day, and at night we hid in the woods or by the mountains to sleep. I don't think I ever saw Mother close her eyes to rest, yet she always found a way to get food, sometimes 2 wild fruits, sometimes a small roasted bird. The farther we went, the more people we saw, people just like us. No one spoke. No one drew near. We all watched each other warily, yet walked in silent tandem toward the same direction. Sometimes the person in front of us would stop suddenly, crumple to the ground, and never get up again. Sometimes someone would burst into tears mid-step and turn back the way they'd come. It was then that I truly understood what chaos meant. It wasn't just our town. Every village, every town, every small city we passed through was empty. No more officials in their fine robes. No more beautiful young ladies in silk dresses. Even children like me, elders like Granny Jong, maidens like Sister Kui were few and far between. Whenever someone looked at me, Mother would wordlessly flash one of her pig-killing knives. When someone found food, everyone descended on it like the stray dogs fighting for meat crumbs under the butcher's stall. Like the starving beggars in town, we had no home anymore. In this moment, we were all beggars, all stray dogs. I was a little beggar now, too. Fu, is that you? Fu, Madam Lin, you're alive. An old beggar stumbled toward me, tears streaming down her weathered face. It was Granny Jong. Granny. Behind Granny Jong stood her eldest son. As she talked to me, he faced away, keeping watch on the other people around us. Fu, I'm so glad you're alive. I thought I'd never see you again. Granny Jong stroked my cheek. Those godforsaken bandits killed so many people. May wild dogs devour their flesh. May mountain ghosts claim their souls. At the sight of a familiar face, Mother finally let out a breath she'd been holding. Her voice was dry and hoarse from disuse and thirst. Granny Jong, are any other townsfolk alive? One simple question, and tears welled up in Granny Jong's eyes all over again. So many dead, the ones who lived all ran. We're slow, so we only just caught up to you. Oh, and there's Kui too, with her mother. I never thought I'd see Sister Kui like this, draped in tattered clothes like a broken doll, her face covered in black and blue bruises, rows of bite marks marring her skin, one ear cut off clean, her leg was broken. It seemed the right trouser leg hung limp and empty. She huddled in her mother's arms too, unresponsive to anything her mother said. Kui's poor thing. Her whole family's dead, only the mother and daughter are left. They cut out Kui's tongue. She's given up on living, I think. It's only thanks to her mother fighting tooth and nail that she's still here. Sigh. Sometimes living isn't a blessing at all. At the sight of us, Sister Kui's mother suddenly lunged at us, her chest heaving with rage like a lioness whose cub had been harmed. It's you. It's all your fault. Why are you still alive? You all deserve to die, all of you. If it weren't for you, my Kui wouldn't have suffered like this. My Kui, my daughter. Mother shoved her away, and she collapsed onto the ground, weeping until no sound at all came out of her throat. Sister Kui's mother had once been the woman in town with the finest clothes and jewelry, the one who cared most about her pride. Mother was the one who earned her living with a pig-killing knife, casting aside the good reputation others craved. Yet in this moment, I thought they looked the same. As Sister Kui's mother cried, Sister Kui lay there still, not a single move. Madam Lin, let us go together, we can look out for each other. Mother agreed. She had me to care for, and Granny Zhong had her little grandson. Granny Zhong had 2 sons, 1 daughter-in-law left, and her little grandson Jinbao. With my family and Sister Kui's, there were 9 of us in total, 9 of us walking together, and the stares that fell on us faded away. Sister Fu, why won't Sister Kui talk to us? Jinbao walked with me in the middle of the group, a whole head shorter than me, whispering in my ear. Since we'd joined them, Sister Kui hadn't moved an inch, or said a word. Sister Kui's mother had found a wooden cart, and pulled her along on it wherever they went. Sister Kui is sick, she's not feeling well. Jinbao. We won't bother her. Jinbao squeezed my hand and nodded. He'd once been a terribly mischievous child, one who only obeyed when adults coaxed him with a rattle or sweets. Now he was quiet and good. Sister Fu, I want to eat meat. Do you want to eat meat too? I swallowed hard, my throat dry. We'd eaten so little on this journey of flight. Forget meat, just not starving was a blessing. Whenever the adults went out to forage for food, Jinbao, his sister-in-law, Uncle Zhong the elder, and I stayed behind. Granny Zhong was old, but she knew the names of countless wild things. To her, the weeds and tree roots in the mountains were all treasure. Mother was a woman, but fierce and strong, with her gleaming pig-killing knife in hand. Few dared to cross her. Sister Kui's mother went too, dragging Sister Kui along with her, never willing to leave her side. That's her only daughter left, Uncle Zhong the younger said. Everything they found was thrown into a pot. A little water added, nothing more than enough to cook it through. Mother fought hard for us, foraging tirelessly. Anyone who tried to steal our food or sneak up on us was chased away with a swing of her knife. So no matter how terrible the slop in the pot tasted, I ate every last bite. I had to live. Mother had to live. Sister Kui was the only one who refused to eat. She clamped her jaws tight. No matter how her mother tried to force food into her mouth, no matter how she fed her, her mother would pry her mouth open with her fingers, pouring gruel down her throat. More often than not, both ended up a mess, with little food actually swallowed. Mother and daughter were both stubborn, one who refused to open her mouth, who wished she were dead, the other who dragged a cart day after day to find food, determined to pull her daughter back from the gates of hell. When it rains, it pours. That was Granny Zhong's favorite saying, one she'd heard from the storyteller in town. We already have a war, and now a famine too. How are we supposed to live? No one had an answer for her, but the food they found grew scarcer with each passing day. We all wasted away to skin and bones, just like everyone else on the road. Sometimes I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me when people looked at each other. Their gazes seemed to glow with a green, hungry light. We didn't know who the emperor was before, let alone why the war had started. I only wished it would all end soon, so Mother and I could have a home again. Granny Zhong's family camped opposite us, Sister Kui and her mother beside us. Fu, don't sleep, talk to Mother, don't close your eyes, ever, do you understand? I must have fainted from hunger. When I woke, Mother was carrying me on her back. I didn't know when it had happened, but Mother's body was nothing but bones now. She was still called Madam Lin the Butcher, yet there was not an ounce of flesh on her frame. I ran my fingers over her bony spine, and tilted my head to see Jinbao being held in his mother's arms. Everyone's eyes were red and swollen. My eyelids felt impossibly heavy, too heavy to open, too heavy to part my lips and answer Mother. Fu, eat this. Just a little. We started eating dirt. Granny Zhong said it was edible, but it tasted terrible, earthy and rank, sticking to my tongue the moment it touched it. Gritty, impossible to swallow. Sometimes I bit down on small pebbles hidden in it, but at least the gnawing hunger in my stomach was gone. Only Jinbao couldn't bear it. He'd eat handfuls of dirt, crying and screaming when his mother tried to take it away, his throat raw and hoarse. In the end, she'd have to let him have his way. Jinbao's stomach swelled up little by little, hard as a rock when I touched it. He stopped begging for dirt, because his stomach ached, but he didn't cry. He had no strength left to cry. That day, the adults went out to forage, searching and searching, but found nothing to eat, not a single thing. No one spoke. No one cried. No one had any idea what to do. Go to sleep. When you're asleep, you won't be hungry anymore. I must have been starving so badly that I imagined it. I smelled meat. It wasn't a dream. A group of men appeared, holding out meat to us, a chunk of raw, bloody flesh, and a piece roasted, crackling and fragrant, steam curling up from it. They must have been powerful men, even in times like these. Their faces were full and healthy. Take it and eat. Food is hard to come by now. But no one reached out to take it. Mother pulled out her knife, standing in front of me to shield me. I want meat. I want to eat meat. Mother, woo-woo. Jinbao wants meat. Jinbao woke up. And at the sight of the meat, he burst into greedy tears, stretching out his little hands, desperate to put it in his mouth. But his mother held him tight, crying too, unable to say a word. Father, Mother, Jinbao doesn't want to die. Jinbao wants to eat. I'm so hungry. In the end, Uncle Zhong the elder took the meat, cutting off a small piece and feeding it to Jinbao. Jinbao ate it ravenously, but Uncle Zhong didn't give him any more. The palm-sized piece of meat was cut into tiny slices, shared among us all. Granny Zhong didn't eat any. Jinbao's mother didn't eat any either. Jinbao ate his fill, his face lit up with joy. Uncle Zhong the elder and Uncle Zhong the younger ate too, but they covered their mouths as they chewed, swallowing meat and weeping tears all at once. Mother took the meat, but what she fed to my mouth was a dry, hard piece of flatbread. Phoo, don't say a word, just eat, quietly. It was the flatbread Mother had hidden. Tucked close to her body, our last bit of emergency food, our lifeline. Sister Kui's mother didn't take any meat, so Jinbao got an extra piece, sucking his fingers greedily, asking Granny Zhong what kind of meat it was. Granny Zhong stroked his head, her eyes fixed on the small fire they'd lit. It's mutton, Jinbao. Two-legged mutton. When dawn broke, no one spoke of what had happened the night before, but the chunk of raw, bloody meat was still there. I knew Jinbao would eat more two-legged mutton that night. That group of men followed us, not too close, not too far. They ate meat during the day too, their mouths greasy with fat, the fragrance drifting far and wide on the wind. They were generous, too. Anyone who went to them begging for food would almost always get a piece of meat. But I wondered, their meat always looked like it was almost gone by the end of the day, yet the next day, they'd pull out more, as if they had an endless supply. Jinbao finished that piece of meat quickly. After tasting meat, he couldn't bear to eat dirt anymore, crying and fussing all day for more. Impossible to soothe. Fu is a good girl. We don't eat meat. Mother told me not to eat it, so I didn't look at it. I still ate dirt during the day, and at night, Mother would slip something small into my mouth, something I couldn't name, but I could never forget the smell of that meat. I'd wake up from hunger in the middle of the night. And that was when I saw Uncle Zhong the elder walk toward the group of men's camp. Mother was awake too, covering my mouth with her hand, holding me tight in her arms. It's all right, Fu, don't say a word, don't look at anything. At daybreak, Uncle Zhong the elder came back with meat bigger than the last piece. Jinbao ate meat again. After that day, Mother never let me out of her sight. She took me with her even when she went out to forage. Just like Sister Kui's mother did with Sister Kui, and so we became a single group, walking and foraging together, step by step. The grass roots and tree bark were long gone, even the edible dirt was running out. I was so hungry, so unbearably hungry. that my mind kept wandering back to the meat crumb flatbreads mother used to make. Had I eaten too much in the past? Was the heaven punishing me now, leaving me with nothing to eat? I didn't understand. Sister Kui had it the worst. She was injured. And she'd had no food. Now she was as thin as the paper skin of a shadow puppet. If it weren't for the faint rise and fall of her chest, she would have looked exactly like a corpse. Her mother's shoulders were raw and blistered from pulling the cart, falling down countless times on the road. Now she couldn't even cry anymore, no tears left to shed. Sister Kui, don't die. You said you'd take me to watch the opera. I knelt down beside Sister Kui's cart. I really had wanted to watch an opera with her, once. Sister Kui, we all thought you were a fairy in town. Fairies don't die, do they? Sister Kui's eyes moved, just a little, and in her mother's overjoyed gaze, she parted her lips, just a crack. That tiny movement was enough to make her mother burst with happiness, calling her name over and over again, her voice trembling with hope. Later that day, Uncle Jong the elder suddenly said he'd found the half-rotten corpse of a tiger in the woods a few dozen meters away. When night fell, they'd go cut it open, and each of us would hide a little piece on our bodies. Everyone knew Mother's skill with a knife. She had to go. Sister Kui's mother wanted to go too. She said Sister Kui had reacted at last, that she must want to live now, one more person, and they'd finish the job faster, one more person. And their chance to survive would be that much greater. We were all overjoyed. The adults prepared quietly, and when night fell, only I, Jinbao, Sister Kui, and Granny Jong were left at the camp. Granny Jong gathered the three of us close, then pulled a single sweet from her pocket, smashing it into 3 pieces with a stone. Eat this. When you wake up, you won't be hungry anymore. When you wake up, there will be meat to eat. Jinbao ate his piece. I fed mine to Sister Kui, and she opened her mouth to take it. I ate mine too. It was so sweet. We hadn't tasted anything sweet in so long. We hadn't had anything sweet in far too long. I slept so deeply that my eyes refused to open, but I heard voices chattering in my ear, faint and indistinct. I'll give you these 2 girls. You promised. We get meat in return. It was Granny Jong's voice. This one's all skin and bones, hardly any meat on her. Ugly little cripple. This young one's not bad though. Tender meat. Don't worry, we keep our word. You'll get your meat. Though the one in your arms looks good too, even tastier. I'd say, no, this is my grandson. You can't have him. My sons will be back soon. Don't you dare try anything. Back. That knife-wielding woman'll keep 'em busy for a while. Relax. We're men of our word. We said meat, and you'll get meat. You've already done this dirty deed. What have you got to be scared of? Their laughter was loud, as if it were right in my ear. Someone threw me to the ground. It hurt so much. Little girl, don't blame Granny. Jinbao's starving to death. He's my only grandson. I can't watch him die. Give us other meat, not theirs. Someone grabbed my hand, turning it over and over, pinching here and there, just like the townsfolk who'd come to Mother's butcher shop to pick through the meat on the block. TCH, old woman. You're eating human flesh and still being picky about who it is. You've got the face of a Buddha and the heart of a devil. Look how much this little girl trusts you. It's not human flesh, it's mutton, 2-legged mutton. Granny Jong rambled on, repeating the word mutton until her voice faded away entirely. Little girl, this medicine'll make you feel nothing. Don't be afraid. In your next life, may you be born into a wealthy family. Granny Jong knew so many things, in an instant. I lost consciousness. Fu, don't sleep. Fu, wake up quickly. Mother's waiting for you. Mother. 2 warm drops fell on my face. I opened my eyes, and saw Mother, her face marred by a new, raw, bleeding scar. Mother. Does it hurt? Mother shook her head, tears streaming down her face unceasingly. Mother never cried. She must be in unbearable pain. I pouted my lips, wanting to blow on the wound to soothe her, but I felt like I was dying. I had no strength to move, no strength to eat. no strength to blow on mother's scar. I was so useless. Phoo, don't be afraid, Sister Kui and Auntie are here too. We'll go together. One day, you'll go watch the opera with Sister Kui, just like you wanted. I nodded, not asking about Granny Zhong and her family. Mother slung me over her back. Sister Kui was stuffed in a sack, only her head sticking out, being dragged by her mother. The wooden cart was gone. Auntie and mother were covered in blood. I didn't dare ask whose blood it was, or if there were more wounds hidden under their clothes. It was all my fault. I ate that sweet. Phoo, don't cry, it's not your fault. You're just too little. The road was unbearably hard. 2 gaunt women, carrying me and Sister Kui. Sometimes they switched places, sometimes they put me in the sack too, dragging us both together. Perhaps there were so many dead people that occasionally, we found new green shoots sprouting from the earth. At the very least, we wouldn't starve to death. One day, it suddenly started to rain. The raindrops pattered down, and I opened my mouth to catch them. They were so sweet, so refreshing. Sister Kui turned her head. The rain washed away much of the dirt on her face, making the scars on her cheeks all the more obvious. Yet she smiled at me. Her lips were closed, but her eyes were full of joy, just like she used to be. Before the rain stopped, Sister Kui took her last breath. Auntie didn't cry. She'd cried too much. Her tears all dried up. She just sat beside Sister Kui, wiping her face and body with rainwater. I knew this day would come. My Kui was born lucky. The day she came into this world, her father made a fortune selling cloth. This daughter of mine, I spoiled her rotten. Everyone said I was foolish, a girl who'd marry and leave home one day, and I was wasting money on her. What did they know? I had a terrible temper, a sharp tongue. I heard a mother like that would make it hard for her daughter to marry, so I changed. You didn't know, did you? The clothes I wore were the same as the ladies in the city. I even learned their manners. It was miserable. But my Kui said I looked beautiful like that, like a fairy. Auntie combed Sister Kui's hair, washing away every speck of mud bit by bit. She smiled and went on, what did this silly girl know? She was the beautiful one. Every time I took her out, I was so proud. I thought I'd have to bury her covered in dirt, but she's lucky. Heaven sent this rain to wash her clean, to make her pretty again. Mother helped too, holding me as we undressed Sister Kui. Not an inch of her body was unharmed. Her thighs were black and blue, one arm bent at an unnatural angle, her pale chest covered in bite marks. Her leg was broken at the kneecap, raw flesh oozing with yellow pus, bone shards sticking out. She can't feel it now. If she could, she'd be screaming in pain. Auntie's hands trembled as she tore off a piece of her skirt, washed it clean in the rain, and gently wiped Sister Kui's body. She was just unlucky to be born of me. When those men hurt her, I was pinned to the ground like a dog, right beside her. She was so young, she hadn't even had a marriage proposal yet. She kept calling for me. Mother, save me, hurry and save me. But I could only watch. I wished I could have taken her place. Her father, her brothers, they were all killed. Only the 2 of us survived. When Sister Kui's body was clean, Auntie cleaned her clothes too. They were still wet, but she put them on her daughter anyway. She wrapped Sister Kui in the sack from head to toe, hiding her away from the world entirely. She begged me then. She said, Mother, I'm not going to make it. Let me die. But I refused. I wanted her to live, no matter what. My Kui wanted to die, but she also wanted me to live. She couldn't take it anymore after 2 days. She looked gentle, but she had my spirit. She bit off one of those beasts' ears. That's why they cut off her ear, broke her leg. It's all my fault. I should have listened to her, let her go free from the pain early on. The ground was soft from the rain, easy to dig. The 3 of us dug a deep hole and laid Sister Kui inside, afraid someone would dig her up to eat. We didn't dare leave a grave mound. We stamped the earth flat with our feet, 1 step at a time. Shall we leave something, so we can come back and burn incense for Kui one day? Auntie shook her head. No. I'm afraid someone will find it. I don't want anyone to eat her. I'll remember this place. Auntie stared at the spot as we walked away, again and again, until it vanished from sight. I secretly asked Mother if Auntie would die too, following Sister Kui. Mother said no. Sister Kui wanted her mother to live. If Auntie died too, no one would remember Sister Kui anymore. A dead person with no one to burn incense for them would have a hard journey through the 13 stages of the underworld. Auntie couldn't bear to let Kui suffer that. I never found out how Mother and Auntie, 2 women alone, rescued us from those men, and neither of them would ever speak of it. Suddenly, they had a direction. Suddenly, they were in a great hurry. East. We keep walking east. I wanted to walk on my own, not be a burden. Before Mother could speak, Auntie picked me up and quickened her pace. Your little legs are as short as radishes. You've got years to go before you can keep up with us. Just stay put. Time became precious. Sometimes I woke up on Auntie's back. Sometimes in Mother's arms. We traveled through so many places. We'd thought the whole world was in chaos now, but we never expected to find places still prosperous, still peaceful. We were like 3 out-of-place beggars breaking into these cities, and the people inside stared at us like we were a spectacle. Auntie was overjoyed. So what if we were beggars? The nobles took pity on us, and the food they gave us was something we hadn't tasted in a long time. These nobles didn't throw a steamed bun on the ground and make us fight for it for their amusement. Like the townsfolk back home, they liked to stand straight and tall, waiting for us to kowtow one by one. Then listen to us say how kind and merciful they were, how grateful we were. Mother held my hand, and we kowtowed deeply, every time. After everything we'd been through, this was nothing, and it saved our lives, plain and simple. We begged our way through several cities. We never stopped, because refugees like us were worthless. No city would let us stay, all of them eager for us to leave at once. We never wanted to stay anyway. Mother and Auntie said these cities would fall to war sooner or later. We had to keep walking. They were right, because beyond those cities lay only ghost towns. Troubled times are never caused by one person alone, and war does not break out in only one direction. We had to keep going to the imperial capital. The more a person craves power, the more they care about their reputation. Anywhere else, 100, 1,000 of us dying wouldn't stain their name the slightest bit. But the imperial capital is different. Those who want to climb to the top care deeply about how the world sees them, even their reputation after death. We have to get to the imperial capital. We must, in truth. We had no idea where the imperial capital was. Exactly. We were like duckweed adrift on the water, clinging to a single breath, walking ever eastward. Mother had always been strong. I'd seen her lift an entire pig with my own eyes. But now, even Auntie was in better shape than her. Her steps were unsteady, as if she might collapse at any moment. So once again, I walked on my own, and Auntie supported Mother as they went. Finally, Mother fell. That was when I found out Mother had been wounded all along. A deep, horizontal knife wound on her right waist. She must have gotten it the first day the bandits raided the town. So many people were hurt that.
But fear surged through me at once. Give me back my gold lock. What gold lock? What could a little beggar like you possibly have? Get lost. Die with your short-lived mother. Rage burned in my chest. I pulled the small pig-splitting knife from my sleeve and drove it hard into the man's leg. How dare you take my gold lock? How dare you insult my mother? I refused to accept this. Why were people like us so worthless? Why, after fighting so hard to get here, were we still denied the chance to live? Why did all this misfortune befall us? Just because we were butchers who sold meat, merchants who sold cloth, beggars with no power and no status, so our thousands upon thousands of lives could be dismissed with a single word, so we could fight tooth and nail to reach this place, only to be cast out without a second thought. Ah, damn you, do you want to die? A palm as big as a fan struck my face, a metallic taste filled my throat. And all I could see was his spear piercing toward me, yet I heard Auntie screaming my name at the top of her lungs. I was going to die. I thought, better to die before Mother. My legs were short. If I died after her, I would never catch up. Blade met flesh, and warm blood splattered across my face, but the one who fell was not me. It was the man who had stolen my gold lock. Your Majesty, we bow to your Majesty. It is His Majesty, we bow to your Majesty. The gates of the imperial capital swung open. Those inside fell to their knees as one. At the cry of your Majesty, those outside the gate knelt too. A sea of bowed heads. I stared through the blood on my face at the man who had sheathed his sword. He wore a golden dragon robe, his eyes cold as ice, and yet I knew him. Clear as day. This was the little beggar from our small town. You're still alive. The little beggar, no. The Emperor spoke in a flat, indifferent tone. As if my life or death meant nothing to him, he had merely remembered me, and spoken the words on a whim. I scrambled to my knees, bowing my head low. We bow to your Majesty. Does your Majesty know this girl? A former acquaintance, it seems. Shall we bring her to the palace? Two voices spoke, one deep, one clear. All I could see were two pairs of shoes, so fine they could buy a whole city, standing at the Emperor's sides, one to his left, one to his right. She once gave me a meal when I was in need. I shall repay that kindness, as is my duty. What do you wish for? Thank you, your Majesty. Please save my mother. Please spare her life. In the end, Auntie, Mother, and I entered the imperial capital, even the palace itself. The Emperor kept his word. At once, he summoned a host of white-bearded physicians to treat Mother. They crowded the room so tightly not a single breath of air could pass through, and Auntie and I had to wait outside. This is wonderful. Madam Lin will live. Fu, you are so blessed. Auntie was overjoyed. She had recognized the little beggar too, but neither of us dared speak his name. He was now as far above us as the clouds are from the mud. We were still just beggars. Auntie and I were led away to bathe, change our clothes, and eat. The people of the palace wore smiles as if born with them, but Auntie and I dared not speak to them. When they were near, we did not even dare to breathe too loudly. We begged for only one thing, to be allowed to wait outside Mother's room. The door opened, the white-bearded physicians filed out, all shaking their heads at us. Her wounds festered long ago. If the rotten flesh had been cut away and proper medicine applied then, she might have recovered, but it has been far too long. Old wounds reopened, and she was caught in the rain. The infection has lingered, refusing to heal. This woman is drained of all vital energy, her spleen and stomach weak. That she has survived this long is nothing short of a miracle. I'm afraid she has only a day or two left. Prepare yourselves. Auntie had not cried since we buried Sister Kui, but her eyes reddened now, glistening with tears. I could not cry. I only thought the white-bearded physicians were lying. All of this felt like a dream. When I woke up, Mother would be making thick chicken kanji for me. Granny Zhong would be giving me sweets. Sister Kui would be bringing me sweet flatbreads. And the little beggar would still be standing across from our butcher shop, watching the stray dogs fight for scraps. Fu, Mother is all right. Mother was so thin. She lay on her side, tears pooling at the bridge of her nose like a small spring. Fu is so kind. Your kindness saved Mother, and saved yourself too. The bed in the palace was too white, too soft. Mother lay on it, light as a feather, her breathing loud and ragged, like torn paper fluttering in the wind. Fu, where the longevity lock Mother gave you, you must live well from now on. Do you understand? I forced a smile, but before I could speak, tears fell, hitting the bed like little stones. Fu is wearing it. I'll earn money to buy one for Mother too. Someday. I took Mother's hand, kneeling by the bed, pressing close to her. Fu will make meat crumb flatbreads for you, buy you so many new clothes. One day, Mother, you'll sit on a stool beside me, and I'll sell meat to earn money for us. Mother, you never taught me how to split a pig. Let's go home, and you'll teach me. Okay, Mother. Mother did not answer. She must have fallen asleep. Auntie finally let out her tears, sobbing uncontrollably in the empty room. Why couldn't you just let yourself be happy? Your daughter saved the Emperor. Such a good life was waiting for you. Get up. Your daughter is still so young. If you won't take care of her, do you expect me to do it for you? I can't. My Kui will be jealous. Get up. Now. My mother died on the very day we finally reached the imperial capital. The Emperor ordered a Buddhist ceremony for Mother, and the urn holding her ashes was crafted from the most precious material. inlaid with Eastern pearls and gold. I failed to save her. Name another wish. The emperor sat on the dragon throne, and we were alone in the hall. He fell silent for a moment. Or you may stay in the palace. I will ensure you live a life of luxury and plenty, and no one shall ever harm you. Madam Lin would surely wish for this too. I kowtowed deeply twice. Thank you, your majesty. If you wish to bestow a gift, then send someone to hold a ceremony for Sister Kui as well. Auntie and I will take Mother and Sister Kui home. Home, the emperor sighed. Very well. Even if you stay in the palace, I may not be able to protect you. After all, I am an emperor who— I did not ask how he had gone from a little beggar to an emperor, nor did I wish to know. I only knew that in this nightmare of a world, there was barely one person like the little beggar in 10,000. Far more were like Sister Kui and Mother, who had died needlessly. Now the nightmare was over, and I only wanted to go home, after the little beggar became emperor. Auntie and I stayed in a small courtyard in the capital for several months. During those months, officials from all over the land kept returning to the capital to report on their duties, and some were exiled far away from the imperial city. The day we left the capital was unremarkable, just like the day we arrived. We set off on the road home, passing through the cities where we had once begged. Everything had changed a little. We did not see a single one of those nobles, whether they were hiding at home or dead. We did not know. It took us a long time to find Sister Kui's grave. In the end, we placed her ashes in a beautiful small casket and took her with us too. We had come with 4 people. We left with Auntie and I each carrying a casket. Our town lay in utter ruin, unrecognizable from the place of my memories. The emperor had sent an upright vice magistrate to rebuild it. The houses were new, but I did not know a single soul who lived in them. Auntie and I moved in together, with a room each. The emperor had given me silver, and with it, Auntie and I opened a cloth shop and a butcher shop, right next to each other. She loved selling green cloth, sewing it all into ethereal, flowing garments that hung at the front of the shop, their green veils fluttering in the wind. I took the small pig-splitting knife Mother had given me and apprenticed myself to a butcher, learning to split pigs and sell meat. At first, my master thought I was only playing at it, but when he saw my knife was a proper pig-splitting blade, and learned that Mother had once been the only female butcher in the town, he began to teach me earnestly. Splitting a pig was far from easy. One had to know every bone by heart, to make the blade glide freely between the joints, things Mother had never had the chance to teach me. Some people said the trade was far too bloody for a girl, that I would never find a husband. Whenever they did, Auntie would burst out of her cloth shop, point her finger at them and shout them down, not stopping even when they fled. She never put on that refined, gentle act again. Her fiery, sharp-tongued nature only grew stronger with time. Years later, my master grew old, too frail to slaughter pigs any longer. His family took him away, and I became the only female butcher in the town, just like Mother. Auntie had suffered unspeakably on our journey of flight, and as she grew older, her health worsened, her shoulders and legs aching constantly. Then, one day, her mind began to fade. Where is my Kui? Fu, have you seen Kui? I made her a new dress, and she still hasn't come home. Fu, tell your mother to cut a piece of meat for hot pot. Only your mother's meat is the freshest, the most genuine. Oh right, is Granny Zhong still here? Didn't she say her little grandson needed a new dress? If she doesn't come soon, all the good cloth will be gone. Hey, where are my sons? Where is my husband? Where have they all gone? How strange. Madam Lin, cut me a piece of meat. I lifted my knife and sliced, not an inch more or less, not too fat, not too lean, 1 slice of pork, 15 coins.